Tucked away in the front range of Colorado's Rocky Mountains, not far from the Garden of the Gods, is a little-known gym spurred on by the Olympic dream. And by the '96 Olympics, Colorado Aerials could take its place as one of America's new gymnastics forces. One of Tom and Lori Forster's prize pupils served notice this week. KRISTY Powell, just 15 years old, won the qualifying round here at the McDonald's American Cup. She's the fresh face, approaching her prime at just the right time. Today, she's joined by Amanda Borden, once a hopeful, now at age 17, just trying to hold on. Two-time world champion and the favorite at this event, Shannon Miller, failed to qualify. A rare fall on the beam leaves Shannon watching from the sidelines this year. The American men have something to prove here in Seattle. Last year, this event was within John Roethlisberger's grasp. He led after 4 rounds, then gave the event away. Challenging him is little-known American Bill Roth, and he has his chance to show the world his own unique style. One of the world's more familiar landmarks, the Space Needle in Seattle, towering above the Pacific Northwest skyline and just below, down inside the sold-out Seattle Center Arena, as some of the world's best gymnasts have gathered from 16 countries around the world. USA Gymnastics and NBC Sports present the 13th annual McDonald's American Cup. And hi, everybody, I'm Dan Hicks, and we welcome you to the second day of this 2-day prestigious event. It began on Thursday night as the top 8 men and women qualified for today's finals. Those scores will be erased as they start from scratch today with a chance at the prestigious American Cup. And we are assured that there will be a new champion on both the men's and the women's side, since both defending champions are not here. Let's now bring in our expert analyst, Tim Daggett, and Elfie Schlegel. And let's begin on the women's side. There is no Dominique Dawes, the reigning national champion, out with an injury. No Shannon Miller, the 2-time world champion. She failed to make the finals, but that leaves the door open for a couple of young prospects.
Well, Dan, KRISTY Powell, a virtual unknown in this country, is trying to become a household name. She could very well do it today. Remember, she won the preliminary competition, has all the talent in the world to do it. She says it's her time now, but let's not forget Amanda Borden. She's a veteran of this team, and she's certainly hoping to make this the biggest win of her career.
What about the level of competition? We've heard a lot that it's a little bit subpar as compared to recent American Cups.
Well, I think one of the reasons could very well be that the international coaches are afraid to send their big stars to the United States. We're just less than 17 months to the Olympic Games. They can't afford for their big stars to lose here in the United States.
Well, we've been celebrating all week the 10-year anniversary of Tim Daggett's McDonald's American Cup championship. And Tim, what about the men's side? We have a familiar face in John Roethlisberger and a new guy on board in Bill Roth.
Well, first of all, thank you for remembering, Dan. But yeah, we really couldn't have a more contrasting style between the two American athletes. John Roethlisberger, he's very concentrated athlete. He's intense, very focused. Everything is thought out and planned. Bill Roth, he's a wild man out on the floor, high-fiving people. He's loud. He says it's more important to him to excite the crowd, to get them up on their feet, than it is for him to win the competition. We'll see how he does the rest of the way.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. And let's take a look at the latest standings. The women, after one rotation, they have a total of 4 events, and after one rotation, Romanian's Ana Maria BICAN has the lead. The United States' KRISTY Powell is in second place. The men's standings, they will have 6 rotations. The standings after 3 rotations, VALERI BELENKI of Germany has the lead over John Roethlisberger, and Bill Roth is currently in 5th place. And Tim Daggett, let's take a look at the start of Bill Roth. Not his strength, the rings.
Well, actually, Bill got off to a fantastic start on floor exercise and well, actually, Bill Roth got out to a great start on floor X and pommel horse, but still rings, it all went a little bit wrong. He's struggling there. You see him not really holding that strength part, a little bit of bent arms, and this is where it really went bad. He does a backup rise and doesn't hold that second strength part at all. That's a critical deduction in this exercise. Because of that, he picks up a lot of swing, and he suffers an 8.85 on the rings. John Roethlisberger, though, he is on fire today. Gymnastics 101, folks. Remember, boom, you gotta stick the landing, and he does it.
But the leader of the competition so far, VALERI BELENKI of Germany, one of the oldest vets on the international scene.
Full twisting double layout somersault here. He is a bronze medalist in the all-around at the Olympic Games in '92. He's a veteran, and he's going to be tough for the rest of the competition.
We have about 20 seconds.
And we are getting ready for the women's competition. EILEEN DIAZ getting ready for her first start. And there is the two-time defending world champion, Shannon Miller, watching from the sidelines this year. She's a former champion of the McDonald's American Cup, and certainly not washed up, I feel like a lot of people want to make her. Now from Puerto Rico, this is EILEEN DIAZ on the uneven bars.
Dan, this is the very first time she's representing Puerto Rico, just 15 years old, very young competitor, gaining some valuable experience here at the American Cup. She's hoping to be at the World Championships in October in Sabai, Japan, and of course would like to represent Puerto Rico at the Olympics. Nice set going so far, just a little bit messy in her knees. You can see lots of little form breaks, but a big dismount planned right here. Full twisting double layout, and she stands it up beautifully.
15 years old, from Puerto Rico, lives in Houston, Texas, has dual citizenship.
Well, this dismount was incredible. She had, you know, an average routine in the middle of her routine, but gaining a lot of momentum for this huge dismount, double layout full twist. Very few women in the world perform that dismount. Excellent.
Pretty poised, EILEEN DIAZ, competing in just her first international meet. We'll get her score in just a moment, but we'll swing back to the men's competition and take a look at Zoltán Šupala, 24 years old, from Hungary.
And he is the national champion for Hungary, another one of the veterans in this competition. Told me the other day, though, that he is really having a major problem adjusting to the time change. 9 hours difference, he said. He always feels like he should be sleeping when he's awake and awake when he's sleeping.
Cup for Šupala.
I think the most important thing is that landing. Full twisting suit. Almost a carbon copy to John Roethlisberger. Not the most difficult vault being performed in the competition, but he did it very well. You know, he's really a working class gymnast. Doesn't really excite you anywhere to the max, but nice laid out Sukahara there, and he just plants the landing.
And while the women average the scores of 2 vaults, the men just get 1 shot. As we take a look at EILEEN DIAZ, her score on the uneven bars, a 9.625. And our first look at one of the 2 American qualifiers. This is Amanda Borden, 17 years old, a couple of years older than KRISTY Powell, but impressive Thursday night and has earned herself a spot in the finals.
No question, Dan, a crowd favorite, has a fantastic bar set plan, but she said in preliminaries she was disappointed with her dismount. Two release skills planned in this routine. Here's the first. Remember, she said she had some problems on the landing, a slight over-rotation.
Great dismount. Good job. Finally, a good hitting dismount.
The encouraging words from her coach, Mary Lee Tracy, of 6 years.
Well, you could hear Mary Lee focus in on the dismount. I mean, that has been the focus in the last 2 days. They know how important it is to stick the landing. This is a blind move, very difficult. Timing has to be bang on. There's the 2 saltos, looks for the floor, just a very small shuffle.
The gymnastics community has watched Amanda Borden mature to a young 17-year-old. We'll get her score when we come back to Seattle.
She also
And we're back at Seattle. The score for Amanda Borden at 9.762, 5th place after the first rotation, and that should move her up. But the leader from Romania is Ana Maria BICAN, the lone Romanian competing here, not even a member of Romania's World Championship team, just clinched last November.
BICAN's certainly a tough competitor, has all the difficulty on this event. Her coach said that she has more experience now. She just turned 15.
Yesterday.
Millie Simonescu, one of the FIG officials here, explained that BICAN is here because she needs more experience as we get set for the Atlanta Olympics. Second release skill, beautifully done. Big dismount, should be a double layout.
You know, one thing, the Romanians, they just don't give anything away. They're sticking those dismounts. Their knees are good and straight. They do just what they need to do on the apparatus to bring in those bonus tenths.
Take a look at her first release skill. Watch the height and the distance. Some hand changes going on right here. Really working those bars bang on. You know, she's really cleaned up some of the small difficulties that she's had in the preliminary competition. She's at her best today in the dismount. Great dismount, double layout. Just a slight pike in the body on the first layout, but she nails it, solid.
You know, pretty scary to think about how powerful that Romanian team is when Ana Maria wasn't even on it. Her coach, the national coach, as you hear "Happy Birthday" he sung to Ana Maria BICAN.
Dan, it's like everybody's birthday around here.
And now the leader of the men's competition. This is Valeri Belenki of Germany, 25 years old.
In the 1992 Olympics.
Raised in the Soviet gymnastics system, began his career as a member of the Soviet Union team and was even a member of the gold medal unified team in the 92 Olympics, placed 3rd in the all-around, and one of the big threats to ROETHLISBERGER and Roth, the Americans, here today.
But he says he loves Germany, everything about it. 1.5 twisting Sugahara here, blind landing. He can't keep his feet still. It's like at any point it looked like he was going to be fine, but he just kept on hopping on the landing.
Performance of 9.775.
Take a look at this from a different vantage here. Very important, big push. Look at the nice straight legs and perfect form. Just a slight legs apart on the landing there.
Valeri's had a
generate a tremendous amount of power and a huge push off that horse. Blind landing, doesn't see the ground until it's right there. And there's one hop, there's another, and he kind of shimmies a little bit one more time. Those could all be potential deductions.
Valeri Belenki. And KRISTY Powell awaiting her turn on the uneven bars. You see what the 15-year-old from Colorado Springs needs to take the lead. The score for BICAN on the bars, the 9.775. KRISTY Powell in 2nd place after the first rotation.
KRISTY does some really neat things on the bars right off the bat. She'll show us a skill that was basically done only by the men up until a few years ago. It's called an inverted giant. This is a big routine for her, though. This is that skill right here, inverted giant.
But take a look at the release skills. That's what sets her apart in this routine. They are extremely high, and she has one more planned. Incredibly high. What a super ginger. Like I said, she just takes it sky high. Watch the dismount. Full twisting double back. Way above the high.
Exactly. All right. Woo!
There are her coaches, Tom and Lori Forster. They run the Colorado Aerials gym in Colorado Springs. And KRISTY Powell has made quite a week out of this McDonald's American Cup.
Good form in the dismount.
In her family, she has 4 brothers.
Tom and Lori have done a fantastic job with this athlete. Just incredible execution on this bar. And look at that Ginger release move. You know, it's not just enough to do a release skill, but to do it at that height. That was incredible. Nice skill. Then her dismount. Take a look at this one. Double salto with a full twist well above the high bar. Here she goes. There's the first summy. Throws in a full twist. She's still above the high bar and nails it.
KRISTY's score on bars, 9.85.
And the reaction from Tom Forster. That says it all. KRISTY fourth in the all-around at the 94 Nationals, and the score a 9.85. Excellent beginning for KRISTY Powell.
And that is what
And we'll remind you, today's broadcast, McDonald's will present the Balancing It All Award to the male and female gymnasts who achieve balanced, healthy lives by combining academic and athletic excellence with outside activities. McDonald's will donate $1,000 to each recipient's training fund. More gymnastics in a moment. And there are the men's standings after 4 of 6 rotations. Germany's VALERI BELENKI leads the United States' John Roethlisberger, and American Bill Roth also hanging in at 4th place. The women's standings now, and KRISTY Powell, by that bar routine, has now overtaken Anna Maria BICAN for the lead, and Amanda Borden, also of the United States, is in 3rd place. Shannon Miller not competing in this year's McDonald's American Cup, a former champion a couple of years ago. And Marianne, we were here in the arena on Thursday when it fell silent when Shannon fell off the beam.
That's right, Dan. It was silent, and then there was a gasp from the audience, from us, from Shannon herself. I think she didn't expect not to be in the finals. But much of the past year has been tough on Shannon Miller. After defending her world all-around title in '94, she's had a couple second-place finishes, and no one is used to that. And actually, everyone has always demanded and expected perfection from Shannon Miller. Shannon Miller didn't lose an event for 2 years following the Barcelona Olympics. But in this past season, Shannon has faced a string of disappointments. Her dominance was first challenged 6 months ago at U.S. Nationals, competing alongside a very confident Dominique Dawes. Shannon made a mistake on the beam, an error she hadn't made in 4 years. Shannon Miller was no longer the best in the United States. Then at World Team Championships, Shannon slipped on the bars and left the competition early. The commitments of being a high school senior, a busy schedule, shin splints were the reasons. But even without her, the U.S. team went on to win a silver medal. So here she is, her first international meet of 1995. The American Cup was to be Shannon's. No one in the field was expected to even challenge her. But Thursday night, Shannon was in 3rd place after 2 rotations. Shannon, the world champion on beam, lost her balance and her chance to regain this title.
Shannon, you've been on top for so long. The demands are so great. How tough is it?
There's a little bit more pressure, I think, now from other people, but I try not to let it bother me. I try and keep my focus on what I'm doing and just know that the pressure that's on me is from myself, trying to, you know, please my coaches and please myself, and that's about it.
The harshest of critics would say this is the beginning of the end of your gymnastics career.
That's what they said at last Nationals, when I came back this Nationals and won it, so.
No goodbye?
No goodbye for me, not till '96.
So her steely determination drives Shannon Miller to the '96 Atlanta Olympics.
I talked to Shannon a few minutes ago, and she said, you know, I could be better, but she thinks her body needs a rest. I think her mind also needs a rest. You know, many would discount her, but anybody who knows Shannon Miller, Dan, knows that you can't count her out, not just yet. Elfie, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I saw Shannon at the American Classic a few weeks ago. She looked absolutely fantastic. And this is just a small fall off the balance beam. It's the American Cup. I mean, it just proves that she is human. She can make mistakes. But overall, she's upgraded her routines, and she still looks like a true champion.
Well, the Americans finished 1-2 in the qualifying. It was Powell and Borden. Shannon Miller finished 4th, but only 2 American gymnasts are eligible for the finals. So Shannon sits from the sidelines today.
Third, the DMITRI VASILENKO from Russia.
Now back to action.
And we're ready to begin.
This is ELENA DOLGOPOLOVA from Russia.
Dan, we mentioned off the top of the show that we're not seeing some of the stars of the international field. She is definitely not one of the top Russian athletes. However, what you will see in this exercise are traditional styles of the Russian team, very clean lines, and she has some top difficulty, starting with her mount. Oh boy, but what a tough save.
Big deduction, though, right off the bat.
Big tumbling skill right here. She'll take the length of the balance beam. Back handspring layout to a second layout. Very solid.
Pretty solid indeed for Dolgopolova, her very first trip to the United States. Trains at the well-known National Training Center at Round Lake.
Slight little balance check there. There was a skill that she fell off in the preliminary competition, a very popular skill, a women's balance beam and front tuck. See how she handles it. A slight balance check once again.
Elfie, she just seems a little bit apprehensive, maybe doubts herself a little bit too much on this exercise. It's a great routine, but secret to gymnastics is make it look easy and obviously make it look beautiful. Her dismount sequence right here.
Tim, probably the highlight of that routine was the dismount.
But you know, it was a great dismount, but she did the same exact thing. She landed, it looked like it was a perfect stick, and then she took a little step. It was kind of silly.
15 years old, fourth place at the '94 Junior Championships in Russia. And another look at the dismount.
Had some nice choreography, some nice tricks in the interior of the routine, but as I said, this definitely was the highlight. Back handspring consecutive to a second one, up into a double back, and as Tim mentioned, nailed it, could have hung on to it, but gave away a small deduction right there.
There was the dismount, and now the mount.
Tough skill, Dan, just 4 inches to this balance beam, totally blind right there. She was on, she was off, she's fighting, and that's impressive to see. Look at, she could have fallen off twice there, but she did hang on. Big deduction.
Hung on and was impressive after the shaky start. Takes a 24-hour train ride once a month to visit her family. And we switch to the men. And a look at DMITRI VASILENKO, 19 years old from Russia, and a member of the second-place Russian team at the recent '94 World Team Championships. He's getting set to take to the parallel bars.
And he really was one of the big hopes for the old Soviet Union. He's been on the national team for many, many years, trained with their top athletes. You notice those arm bands. He puts those on for this right here. Nice work so far. Dismount, gotta stick it, small hop on the landing. A good exercise. That'll certainly keep him in the running at this point.
DMITRI was a member of the 1994
And there is Dolgopolova. And the score on the beam, a 9.425.
The score for ELENA is a 9.425.
Now our first look at Adrian Yestic of Hungary, 16 years old. And Hungary's reigning all-around champion. And bars are her favorite, but what about the beam here?
Well, actually, she has a very unique mount, which she just missed right there. I was going to say on balance beam, one of the keys is trying to be original. And she did it in practice, but failed to complete it in the competition. See how she handles her first big tumbling skill. Back handspring layout, couple steps back. I was going to say, she reminds me an awful lot like Henrietta Onodi, a longtime champion of Hungary.
She trains at the same club as the Olympic medalist Onodi.
We have to be cautious in this routine. Of course, we know how much all those little balance checks can add up.
Almost a carbon copy of the routine we just saw from Dolgopolova. Those problem on the mount and then the slight balance checks throughout the routine. Just not confident enough on the apparatus.
Yeah, she had trouble with her dismount the other day in practice. Actually had a very nasty fall. Hurt her ankle quite badly. Double back, managed to get it around today. Small breaks here and there. They all add up.
Well, we mentioned she loves the bars, but she does not like the beam at all. She says it's her worst event.
The score for DMITRI on parallel bars is 9.675.
Meanwhile, the score for DMITRI VASILENKO, 9.675 on the parallel bars. And waiting the score of the 16-year-old Niested. While we do that, here is Bill Roth. You heard Tim Daggett mention at the top of the show, we're going to see a different kind of gymnast, a little stoic now. But there should be some high-fiving, some chest pumping, and a lot of fist pumping from boisterous Bill Roth, 24 years old.
Rock and roll Roth here. Here we go on the parallel bars. Ran into those problems on the still rings, but jumped right back on vaulting. A strong performance. Right there, it's critical. Does it pretty well. Great looking skill there. It's called a mana. Push this right to one bar. Oh, this is a little bit of a mistake. And he's in big trouble. Big trouble.
Well, he's capable of some great routines, Tim, but of course the inconsistency that everyone seems to talk about is the only thing holding him back.
And this has been the problem with Bill Roth. You know, he really can knock your socks off. He does some of the most difficult gymnastics of any of the American men, but occasionally he'll fall like that. Of course, when you fall off the apparatus, it is a mandatory 5-10 deduction. Swing work, dismount. Oh! When it goes wrong, it just all seems to go wrong. That pretty much does it for Bill Roth's chances in the all-around here at this American Cup.
Tim, he wasn't even invited to this meet originally. He took Scott Keswick's place after Keswick suffered the injury last week. He was left off. He really thought his poor performance in the '94 Worlds may have cost him an early spot here. He admits he felt the pressure there, but seemed to be in pretty good shape going into this competition.
Well, this was actually great. It's a back toss to one bar, and he just rocks it right to the handstand, but he's supposed to step right back into the middle of the bars. He's off balance. He tries to make a great cover-up right here, but just not quite enough rehearsed there. And that, of course, is that big 5-10 deduction.
Not a good routine on the P-bars by Bill Roth. We'll have his score and more when we return to Seattle after this. Well, after 2 rotations, Amanda Borden currently sits in 3rd place, trying to improve on that. And as she gets set for the beam, she told us yesterday, Alfie, that her training is much more mental now than physical.
Oh, yes, she definitely said in the past as a younger athlete, she just sort of went out there and performed. But now she really pays attention to the psychology part of the sport. She focuses in on the routine. She even reads some sports psychology books, which she says helps her out tremendously in competition.
And they have sayings which help her overcome obstacles. And interested in her performance, of course, is the leader after 2 rotations, KRISTY Powell. Anna Maria BICAN of Romania currently sits in 2nd.
Hate to say it again, but how many times have we said that it comes down to the balance beam? It's so easy to fall off this apparatus. Really the men's pommel horse in women's gymnastics. I think you'd agree with that, Tim.
Oh yeah, what I got to tell you, I think it's even more difficult. You know, the more pressure, the more difficult this event becomes. It is so easy, like we've said over and over again, to doubt yourself.
Big test right here. Easy.
Perfect, actually.
She's solid.
This is her third American Cup, but her first finals appearance.
Oh, that's a tough break.
Hung on.
Hung on, but yes, there will be a severe deduction for that. Another big skill, front summit on the balance beam. Many women performing this skill. Break earlier on certainly hasn't phased her at all. Just the dismount left after this combination of jumps. She's hanging in there. Combination right here. 2 back handsprings, double back. Oh, very short.
Good job. I think you fought with the beam a little bit that time. Good job. You feel like you kind of fought everything.
It's all right.
KRISTY Powell, not electing to eat the donut, which Tom Forster had in the background there, but
a little bit
interested in
like you just barely finished and you were ready to be done.
Borden's performance. Her coach, Mary Lee Tracy, Anna Madden, will admit 92 was not her time. Hopefully, though, 96 Olympics will be.
And things started out so well for Amanda. Blind mount, front summit, very solid. It was perfect, as Tim said, right into an immediate jump. Small breaks throughout the routine, however. Very tough element. Right here, jump half straddle, and her body was way forward, but she hung on. She fights to grip the beam. And her dismount, now she had problems on her dismount on the uneven bars and preliminaries, cleaned that up today, but problems on the dismount, under rotating slightly. 2 back handsprings, just didn't seem to get enough lift right here. She pulls the second salto around, opens up too early. It's a big deduction.
Well, not only Shannon Miller gets the same old questions, are you too old for Atlanta? Amanda Borden gets them as well. She wants to prove the people wrong. She has goals for that, and while we await her score.
And this is Shostak on the parallel bars from Belarus. Very nice release skill on the bars. I tell you, Dan, that's smarts on the upper arms. He does it one more time, a little bit of struggling. This guy actually has a very famous teammate in Vitaly Sherbo. Many-time champion. Beautiful double pipe somersault.
Alexander Shostak of Belarus just turned 21 years old. He mentioned his famous teammate, Vitaly Sherbo. He's not here because of an injured hand in a motorcycle accident. And the score for Amanda Borden on the beam, a 9.525. And we'll take a break from the Seattle Center Arena and send you back to our New York studios. Hannah Storm has a Prudential update for us. And we welcome you back to the 13th annual McDonald's American Cup. The leader for the women after 2 rotations is 15-year-old KRISTY Powell in her first McDonald's American Cup. She will wait for her beam routine because first up is Anna Maria BICAN, who is in second place, just behind Powell.
And this is certainly an event, Dan, where the Romanians excel. Problems right off the top on that front flip mount. Certainly can't afford slight bobbles like that. Big test for BICAN right here. She tumbles on the balance beam. That is truly a tumbling line. Remember, just 4 inches wide. Incredible.
She finished 3rd in the qualifying Thursday night behind Powell and Borden.
Watch the skill at the very end. Usually she holds that leg up just a little bit longer, making it a little bit more special.
Judges aware of that maneuver.
Well, it's just a little extra spin she's put on that particular element, just to make it a little different, as I said, to stand out. She'll tumble once again into her dismount. Very powerful. 2 back handsprings, double back.
The birthday girl from Romania, turning 15 years old yesterday. Her coach also turned 40 yesterday. And by the way, she's with her personal coach, not Romania's national coach, Octavian Belu. And here is the coach's reaction.
No, it's okay. He's relieved.
Yeah, Tom Forster, KRISTY Powell's coach. Yeah, not bad.
Well, let's take a look at the dismount. 2 back handsprings in combination. Moving into that double back, lots of height, pulls the second one around and knows exactly where she is.
Well, let's send it down to our own Marianne Grabavoy. Marianne.
Thank you, Dan. I'm with Tom Forster, KRISTY Powell's coach. Many competitions have been lost in the beam. What's your strategy?
Well, we told KRISTY that right after the mount, we want her just to take a big breath and focus in, try to get her balance on both feet. We've been having her practice mentally to imagine what it's going to feel like when the crowd is quiet. So I think she's ready.
All right. Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
Thanks.
Dan, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Marianne.
And our next performer
And here is KRISTY Powell, her idol, Mary Lou Retton.
VALERI BELENKI getting ready to mount the parallel bars here. One of his strongest events. He is our current leader at this point. Watch these skills. Giant Diamond. He'll do it all on one arm. Look at that. Now watch this right here. Big release skill. He's off balance. Oh my.
Ow. It's one of the more nasty falls you'll see on the P-bars.
You know, sometimes you have to remember these athletes make it look so easy, but it is split-second timing. He just doesn't quite have the swing he needs, and ow.
And he's an accomplished parallel bars artist. He was the bronze medalist at the '93 World Championships.
That's going to really hurt his chances and certainly opens that door wide for John Roethlisberger. Just the dismount, double back, somersault, and sticks the landing, but don't want to be redundant here. Every time you fall off the apparatus, doesn't matter what apparatus, it's 5/10 of a point deduction, mandatory.
Meanwhile, the score for Anna Maria BICAN at 9.7.
Well, it opens the door for KRISTY Powell. I mean, she is definitely capable of scoring much higher than 9.7, so BICAN did open the door with that problem on the mount.
There is KRISTY Powell. She has braces on. It's tough to see, but she wears red, white, and blue elastic bands for her braces. How American can you get? Now she needs a solid beam routine to hold on to the lead.
And this is the most pressure this young lady has ever faced in her entire life.
She's very inexperienced. The big question is, can she do it 2 days in a row? Here's her tumbling skill. A little balance check, a little loose in the form, but solid.
But everybody's been a little shaky on the beam. KRISTY needs a 9.627 to hold on to first.
Front summit, you know, she really has a nice repertoire of skills on the balance beam. You'll see her flip backwards, doing layouts, front skills, and even full twisting skills. We'll see if she throws that big one today. Wow. I how they accomplish that skill, but that is a great skill, one of the toughest ones in the balance beam today. Her focus is right on just her dismount. Double tuck. She's got to stand it up. Beautiful!
Awesome job. You are figuring that out. Nice. Excellent job. Excellent job.
KRISTY Powell said the method of training when she went to Bella Caroli's in Houston was not for her. She said it wasn't for me. She contemplated giving up the sport in '93, but says she luckily found Tom and Lori Forster, and they were much more to her liking, and she has really taken off in the Colorado Aerials.
Way to go, kid.
And we'll update you on VALERI BELENKI, the leader, but an 8.8 on the P-bars. The leader could be John Roethlisberger. We'll have his continuation when we come back. Dan Hicks with Elfie Schlegel, Tim Daggett, and Marianne Grabavoy at the Seattle Center Arena. And our first look at Spain's 18-year-old Monica Martin, Spain's national champion, and she's getting ready for the beam.
You know, Dan, she's an interesting story. She didn't go through the normal procedures of making it to the national team. She totally bypassed the junior ranks and went right to the senior level of competition. A finalist at the European Championships on this event. She's very, very good on the balance beam. Watch her style. Taking a little bit too long to set up for this tumbling skill. Tumbling the length of the balance beam, having trouble on the landing. Another three-element tumbling pass, gainer layout for the back handspring layout. Solid on that one, unlike the first. Now that leap was made famous by Chinese gymnasts, not the exact style, but flipping the head back, losing sight of the beam. That's very difficult, a risk element. Just her dismount, just small problems. You heard the warning bell. She's got to get off the balance beam.
Staying way too long.
Yeah, she's really sets up far too long for these tumbling moves. Big skills and a big step.
18-year-old Monica Martin in 4th place after 2 rotations. But now John Roethlisberger getting set to take to the parallel bars, and Tim Daggett, this is where it all came unraveled for Roethlisberger last year.
1 year ago today, John Roethlisberger having the meet of his life against Olympic champion Vitaly Sherbo, was actually leading Vitaly Sherbo going into this exact event, parallel bars, and it all went wrong there. Had a major problem, just like we saw the current leader before this round, VALERI BELENKI, on the parallel bars. We asked John if there's one nemesis that he faces in the competition, and he said, without hesitating at all, it's parallel bars. It's a new element for John. He deals with it fine. Difficult element there. Stutz to 1 bar, done twice. This is as good as I've seen John perform. Just the dismount right here. No repeat.
Timmy also told us he's been a little frustrated with his performances lately, but he says the qualifying competition Thursday night was his best 6-for-6 event performance he's ever had.
Watch this beautiful back toss to, or actually the Stutz right to 1 bar. Very difficult skill. A little bit unorthodox of a dismount here. Just the small hop on the landing.
And his dad and longtime coach, Fred Roethlisberger at the University of Minnesota, also an Olympic competitor himself, watches John Roethlisberger successfully get through the parallel bars. We're going to send you to New York now in our update studio. We're back, and the women's standings after 3 rotations, just the floor exercise remains, and 15-year-old KRISTY Powell has the lead over Anna Maria BICAN of Romania and Amanda Borden, also the United States, hanging in there in 3rd place. Let's now go down to Marianne Grabavoy.
Dan. I'm with Lori Powell, KRISTY Powell's mom, and she says her heart was in her throat watching her daughter on the beam.
It certainly was. That's always the tenuous event, the beam, and you just hope and pray, which I was, that she would stay on.
What motherly advice have you given her to calm her nerves? She's just 15.
Well, I think that a lot of competition in the past has really helped her, and she has really learned to focus on what she's doing, and I think that she's learned to keep the joy. And that's mainly what I told her. She started out in gymnastics with the joy of doing these tricks and events, and I'm really happy she has continued that way.
Going up there and cross your fingers, thanks.
Absolutely.
Okay, Dan, back to you.
All right, Marianne, thank you very much. And now we are ready for the floor exercise, and this is EILEEN DIAZ, the 15-year-old Puerto Rican. EILEEN DIAZ completing her competition today, the 4th and final rotation of the women. She was in 7th place heading into this final event. But in 3rd place, heading into this final rotation, is Amanda Borden.
Dan, she has to give it her all on the floor exercise. A little bit of a problem on balance beam, so she really has to pour it on floor exercise if she hopes to move to the very top of this competition.
She has signed a letter of intent to compete for the University of Georgia, but she plans to defer entrance to Bulldog Country while she trains in hopes of making the '96 Olympic team. And she was 3rd in this event at the recent '94 U.S. Championship, so she has a lot of confidence, especially on the floor, and really, Elfie, plays to the crowd as well as any American we've seen.
Definitely a treat to watch on floor exercise, certainly the most entertaining apparatus for Amanda, and she'll pour on the smile.
Pepsodent has grown up a little bit. Nicknamed that for her smile. Meanwhile, the current leader, KRISTY Powell, also smiling and waiting her turn on the floor exercise.
From Cincinnati in the USA will be Amanda Borden on floor exercise.
Trickiest thing in Amanda's routine is her first tumbling run.
Every bit of
She does an Arabian double front somersault, and we talk about it on vaulting. It's a blind landing on this skill as well. Very difficult to land.
Amanda Borden.
queen at Finneytown High School in Cincinnati.
You're the winner to me no matter what. Good job, Amanda. You hit 4 events. Good job. Feel relieved?
And we'll stand by for the score of 3rd place, Amanda Borden. KRISTY Powell just moments away from what could be the biggest victory of her career. She's the leader after 3 rotations with a floor exercise left. Really the only other gymnast that can take the title is Anna Maria BICAN of Romania, who is next on the floor exercise.
Dan KRISTY does have the advantage going into this final apparatus. And for Anna Maria BICAN, she says her greatest quality as an athlete is her concentration. She is going to have to focus in on this exercise. She needs it most right now.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Solid on every single landing. You know, she sent a very strong message. KRISTY, just try and match that one.
The last and only Romanian to win this meet, American Cup, was Nadia Comaneci back in 1976, and now the 15-year-old BICAN trying to carry the flag for the world champion Romanians.
She was upset with her performance in the preliminary, said she really had to be perfect in today's competition, and this was her final tumbling pass. A triple twist stands it right up, and you know what? Every tumbling pass looked exactly the same.
BICAN stuck it, and KRISTY Powell, who is next on the floor exercise, saw it.
Was an Olympian and world champion. We welcome from Germany, Valerie Belenki.
We have the question now for KRISTY Powell, which we'll get to in a moment, her floor exercise.
This is a tough event to get back going again on high bar after that nasty fall we saw Belenki take just a few minutes ago. He's struggling a little bit already. 2 releases in a row. He's really not going to do anything too special in this exercise. Hopefully just stay clean. He knows that he has taken himself right out of the title chances. Dismount, double twisting double. Just a couple of small steps on the landing. But it's basically a moot point for Valerie Belenki here at the 95 American Cup.
But back to the story that is emerging now. You saw the score there. Anna Maria BICAN, an excellent 9.812, and so that'll put some pressure on KRISTY Powell, who is the leader but trying to hang on. Needs that to retain the lead.
Well, remember, she does have the advantage going into this event. She is the leader, so she is slightly up on BICAN, but she is going to have to be perfect.
Is it KRISTY Powell's time? We're about to find out.
Wonderful job. Wonderful job.
First tumbling pass is just a little low there, but hey, you got it.
Go wave.
You got it.
Is it a winner? It certainly looked like one. 9.677. Her mother looking on.
Dan, it's going to be awfully close. The first tumbling pass is a double layout. Very impressive. She was a little bit shy on the landing, so, you know, they're going to take a slight deduction for this one. Here's her final tumbling pass, front full to a front pike. Very solid there. Now, BICAN's tumbling was more impressive, but KRISTY did put the package together, and we'll see.
We will see who will go home with the 1995 McDonald's American Cup when we come back. There is the winner. The winning score 9.850, so KRISTY Powell joins an illustrious, great group of gymnasts. Nadia Comaneci, Mary Lou Retton, Kim Zmeskal, Shannon Miller. KRISTY Powell is the champion, and let's go down to Marianne Grabavoy.
Thank you, Dan. KRISTY Powell, American Cup champion. Can you believe you won?
I can't believe it. I wasn't even expecting to make finals, and I did, and I just knew it. I had this feeling today in warm-up that I was going to put it all together, and I was going to make it, and I was going to win. But I couldn't take anything for granted, and I am just so glad.
Anna Maria BICAN of Romania was behind you, right behind you all day long.
Yeah.
Did she push you?
Yeah, she did. She done like a great floor routine, stuck all of her passes, and I knew that I had to do better. I couldn't do just as good, and I'm just thrilled.
Best week of your life?
Yeah, I think so. I was well, I wasn't that nervous for this meet, but I was a little shaky in workouts, and I knew I just had to put everything together, and it's just the best week of my life, yeah.
How badly do you want to be on that Atlanta Olympic team?
It would mean so much to me. I want it more than anything. I just can't picture it. Well, I can now, but it would be excellent. It would be great.
What were you telling yourself last night and this morning? What were you saying that said you can do it?
Well, I just kept thinking I can and praying, and I knew that I could.
Congratulations, KRISTY.
Thank you
Terrific
very much.
win.
Thanks.
Dan, back to you.
All right, Marianne, and the American Cup stays on American soil thanks to KRISTY Powell. Now the story's still being written for the men's side of things as John Roethlisberger takes to the high bar, and Tim, he's got a lot of confidence in this particular apparatus. He won this event on Thursday night in the qualifying round.
That's right. It actually isn't one of John's strongest events, but he's made some major changes in the style of routine that he performs, and it actually went from being a weaker event to a stronger event. This isn't over, by the way. He's in the lead at this point, but DMITRI VASILENKO is certainly within striking distance as well.
Meanwhile, Monica Martin of Spain on the floor exercise. Spain's best, Spain's national champion, Monica Martin, ends her competition. And now back to the men's competition. John Roethlisberger trying to hold on to his lead and win his first American Cup.
As we said at the top of the show, John is a very intense competitor. Stays very inside himself.
Second in the all-around here. Last year, just hasn't been able to put it all together for the championship.
His coach and father, Fred Roethlisberger, said, John, when you're ready. You start when you're ready. 3 releases for John Roethlisberger between him winning his first ever American Cup. 3 releases away. Here we go. His release combination will come up right here. Watch this. He'll stay on this one arm. This is where it all matters, right here. Oh, he got it. Just the dismount. Hop on the landing. Kerpow.
The usual stoic John Roethlisberger pumping his fist, getting the congratulations of his dad.
Love you, man. That was huge, baby.
Bill Roth says it's huge. Is it big enough, Tim?
I think it's big enough. It was a great exercise. The only real deduction was on the landing.
There's a hug from Dad, Fred.
He's done just about.
Love you.
He was engaged a couple of weeks ago to his longtime girlfriend, Kelly, whom he's dated for 4.5 years since his college days at Minnesota. She was a gymnast at Minnesota, now a coach in Atlanta. We'll see if Roethlisberger's the champ when we come back.
No pressure. None whatsoever.
And back for the final performance of Rustam Sharipov from Ukraine. But before we see Rustam, the score for John Roethlisberger. And a 9.737. That means that DMITRI VASILENKO will almost need a perfect routine to pass him.
Was the 1992 world champion.
Right now, the 23-year-old from Ukraine.
This is a great event for Rustam. He is a former world champion, 1992 world champion on high bar. Do some really neat stuff on this exercise.
He is a real veteran here. This is his 3rd straight American Cup, and he took 4th in the all-around last year.
He'll show us a skill popularized by one of my teammates, Mitch Gaylord. Coming up right here, he'll flip over the bar. Oh, right on. A little bit of bent elbows there. Beautiful height on this. Wow. It's like a walk in a park for him. So casual, so planned out this event for him. Triple back somersault. And this, the smallest of hops on the landing.
Sharipov in 3rd place heading into this rotation, so he's trying to fight it out for a medal. Vasilenko is in 2nd place just ahead of him and yet to go on the high bar.
Give my buddy Mitch Gaylord a pop here. There it is right there. Beautiful Pike Gaylord somersault over the bar. But actually what's more impressive for me in this exercise was his 2nd release. Look at the height. He's like shot out of a cannon.
And next on the floor exercise, ELENA DOLGOPOLOVA of Russia. 15-year-old ELENA Dolgopolova of Russia choreographed well and wants to be a choreographer later after her gymnastics career, competitive career is over with. Right now, leader John Roethlisberger will watch DMITRI VASILENKO of Russia try to take over his current lead for the American Cup.
Russian Army. She writes him every week.
Well, you know, it's almost impossible. DMITRI needs a 9.963 for the win, but he does have an incredible high bar routine.
We look forward to seeing her in Atlanta in another 15 months.
And Tim, I would imagine his strategy, do you think he knows that he needs an almost near perfect routine, and will he just let it all out, or is he
I'm sure he knows.
kind of?
Yeah, this routine, it's really going to be very, very difficult for him. You know, he knows that there's absolutely no way he can hold back at all and win this title. To be honest, I don't even know if his exercise can start from a 10. We'll have to take a look at if he does all the skills that he needs to. First skill right here, though. This is huge, gigantic. Got to grab the bar. He's got it. A little bit. No way. Right there, John Roethlisberger, he is your 1995 American Cup champion. Had a little bit of a struggle. That was definitely enough. He's got a big dismount here. Triple back somersault, 3 flips. Good landing, but a step, and no way. Great exercise, but John Roethlisberger is the 1995 American Cup champion.
Hey, Gus.
We'll wait for the score of Vasilenko. The 9.963 seems to be out of reach at this point.
Man, we gotta get off me. Hey, Gus, how you doing, buddy?
And we'll see if John Roethlisberger has enough to win his first international meet. We're right back after this word from your NBC station. The 95 McDonald's American Cup is an American sweep, and Marianne Grabavoy is with the men's champion.
Thank you, Dan. After many years and much frustration, it finally all comes together.
Oh, yeah, I was thrilled. I mean, the last couple days have just been pretty much perfect for me, and I really couldn't have asked for a lot more.
You've said that the American men and you don't get any respect. Does this change that?
No, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to change it. Unless we're overseas at a World Championships or an Olympics and we do what we do here, then we're going to start to get the respect. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to, and I don't think much is going to change after this weekend.
Great job today, 6 for 6. Congratulations. Dan, back to you.
All right, thank you, Marianne. And now, Adrian Yesti of Hungary set for the floor exercise.
And a huge round of applause.
16 years old and reigning champion of Hungary, set to complete her 95 American Cup.
Come on, Bill.
Stepped out of bounds on that first tumbling run. That's a 1/10 of a point.
Adrian Yesti of Hungary Coach lost his luggage. He's been borrowing clothes. He wore the French team jacket uniform outfit. There he is right there. I wonder if that's been borrowed or if the luggage finally came through.
You know, we've already declared the American Cup champion, but it was nice to see some mature choreography. That's something that women's gymnastics has been criticized awfully heavily in the past. So it's nice to see some great choreography, and I certainly appreciated that routine.
Our next performer earned his degree.
Now Bill Roth, and this day has not gone according to Bill Roth's plan. Struggled early, Tim, but a chance to finish off with an exclamation point here in the high ball.
Yeah, this is Bill's playground right here. Nobody swings pipe like Bill Roth here. Here we go. First big release comes up right here. It is huge. It's the same old story. He just really makes you go, wow. But then he's got a mistake right after it. Another nice release. This one right on. Just the dismount. Twisting double laid out. Somersault. Small step on the landing.
We had a perfect 10 in the 90 national championships on the high bar. Bill Roth getting a hug from John Roethlisberger. And like Roethlisberger, Bill Roth recently engaged this past New Year's Eve.
John, Jennifer, how's it going? Done. Surprise, I competed. I don't know if you knew.
Surprise he competed.
Look at this, though. Wow, it is sky high, but just a little bit too close. And look, he has to bend his elbows. And that skill called a cast. That's a big deduction there. Keep saying it over and over again. This guy, he's got the goods. The physical goods are there. He's got the big elements that get the crowd on their feet, earn the bonus points from the judges. But you can't make any mistakes in this game. It's a hard sport. Everything's got to be perfect.
Now, Bill Roth may not have had the best meet of his life, but he's back healthy. 9.525.
My family, hi.
24-year-old Minnesota graduate John Roethlisberger wins his first McDonald's American Cup. VASILENKO takes second, and Rustam Sharipov of Ukraine, with that excellent high bar routine, finishes in third place. It is an American sweep. KRISTY Powell, just 15 years old and the biggest meet of her life, wins it. Anna Maria BICAN of Romania finishes second, and the United States takes first and third. Let's go back down to Marianne Grabavoy.
Thank you, Dan. I'm with a happy mother and daughter. You almost threw it in 2 years ago. You almost threw in the towel. You're certainly happy to be here today. What made you stick with it, KRISTY?
Well, I moved to Colorado Aerials, and I was really, really happy there. And I think happiness is the most important thing in gymnastics. I just enjoy it a lot more, and I think you gotta enjoy what you do.
Mrs. Powell, I know it's been a financial struggle for you to keep KRISTY in gymnastics.
Yes, it is. We did several different moves across country, and we're homeschooling at the present time, so there are quite a few expenses involved, yes. But it's been worth it. It's been a wonderful, it's not really a sacrifice, it's been a wonderful dedication. And I'm behind her in whatever she wants to do.
You have your own cottage industry going. You're sewing coats and selling them to help make ends meet, right?
I do, and it's really been a real joy for me and a lot of fun. And KRISTY actually has her own business going also. She makes hair twisties.
We call them KRISTY Twisties. I sell them at the gym.
Good for you. We'll see you both in Atlanta in '96.
I hope. Yeah.
We're headed that way.
Yeah.
From little-known ninth grader to American Cup champion, we've got a happy team down here, Dan. Back to you.
All right, Marianne, and maybe KRISTY Twisties will be the rage in Atlanta in '96. But right now, a little look at rhythmic gymnastics, which we'll also see in Atlanta in '96. We're going to take a look at Jessica Davis in this exhibition. She is a national team member and a gold medalist in the Olympic Festival. In fact, she's competed in the past 2 World Rhythmic Championships.
And world champion team member performing the ball routine in rhythmic gymnastics.
National Rhythmic Gymnastics member Jessica Davis wraps up the competition today. And now we'll take a moment to announce the McDonald's Balancing It All Award recipients. This year's awards go to Dominique Dawes, injured, not able to compete in this event, and Scott Keswick, also injured, but despite daily challenges and pressures, they achieved balanced, healthy lives by combining academic and athletic excellence with outside activities. McDonald's will give Dominique and Scott a break by donating $1,000 to both of their training funds. Congratulations on all of your achievements, Dominique and Scott from McDonald's. Have you had your break today? We're going to take our final break and be right back.